there is a kind of waiting that feels unbearable at night. During the day, we survive. We distract ourselves. We stay busy. We pretend we are fine. But when night comes, everything slows down. The world grows quiet, and the waiting speaks. You lie awake. Your thoughts return to the same place. Nothing has changed. The prayer is still unanswered. The situation is still the same. The silence is still there. You are not angry at God. You are simply tired. Tired of hoping without seeing results. Tired of trusting without understanding. Tired of standing still while life moves on around you. And maybe tonight, deep inside, your heart whispers a prayer you are almost afraid to say. God, I still believe, but I don't understand why this is taking so long. If that prayer sounds familiar, you are not weak. You are faithful. And tonight, God is closer to you than you realize. Because waiting is not where God abandons us. Waiting is where He forms us. Before Jesus healed the sick, before He preached to crowds, before miracles revealed His glory, there were 30 long years of silence. 30 years, no public signs, no recorded sermons, no visible mission, only ordinary life. Jesus worked with His hands. He obeyed. He lived quietly. Those years were not meaningless. They were necessary. The Son of God allowed Himself to be shaped by time. He waited. Saint Joseph lived this same hidden faith. The Gospel records not a single word spoken by him, and yet his obedience speaks louder than many sermons. Joseph waited when Mary was found to be with child. He waited in confusion and fear. He waited for God's direction. He waited again in exile, fleeing to Egypt to protect the child. No explanations, no promises of comfort, only trust. And still, Joseph stayed faithful. So many saints were shaped in waiting. Saint Monica waited nearly 20 years for her son Augustine to return to God. Saint John of the Cross waited in a dark prison cell, beaten and forgotten, clinging only to faith. Saint Therese lived a hidden life. Offering small sacrifices, no one applauded. Waiting did not delay their holiness. Waiting created it. God often prepares the soul long before He reveals the purpose. We live in a world that fears waiting. We expect speed. We demand clarity. We want answers now. But God does not work on our schedule. Waiting teaches us to trust God without guarantees. It asks a difficult question. Do you trust me only when I explain myself? Or, will you trust me even in silence? If God answered every prayer immediately, faith would become convenience. Waiting purifies love. It removes our illusion of control. It humbles the heart. It deepens surrender. Sometimes God delays the answer because He is changing us, preparing our hearts, strengthening our patience, expanding our capacity to receive grace. What you desire may still come, but first, God is forming the soul that will carry it. Waiting is not punishment. Waiting is preparation. So how do we wait without becoming bitter? First, release your timeline. God is never rushed. He is never late. He never panics. When we let go of control, peace slowly begins to grow. Second, remain faithful in the ordinary. Waiting does not mean doing nothing. It means choosing faith without emotional reward. Prayer, when nothing seems to change. Kindness, when no one notices. obedience without reassurance. This is where faith becomes strong. Third, guard your heart carefully. Waiting can soften us or harden us. If resentment grows, waiting becomes heavy. But if trust grows, waiting becomes prayer. And finally, remember this: God understands waiting. He waited centuries before the incarnation. He waited in silence before beginning his ministry. He waited even as the cross approached. God knows the weight of waiting because he entered it himself. Tonight, if your life feels paused, if nothing seems to move forward, if God feels quiet, do not be afraid. This waiting is not empty. It is filled with grace you cannot yet see. One day, you will look back and realize that what felt like delay was preparation, that what felt like silence was shaping your soul. So tonight, stay faithful, stay gentle, stay open. God is not finished. He is working quietly, patiently, faithfully, and what he is forming in you will be worth the wait. Amen.